Despite popular demand, the customer is not always right for your business. And knowing and understanding customer profitability will give you the information you need to determine that. This is the Building the Future podcast, and I am your host, Brett Thorne. And on this episode, we're going to talk about customer profitability, what it is and why it is important to growing and building your business. I want to start off at a very high level. First, let's define profitability. There is a big difference between profits and profitability. Believe it or not, there are a lot of companies out there that generate profits every year, but are not profitable at the end of the year. So knowing the difference between the two is very important. So with that information, profits are very simple. It's your sales less cost of goods sold equals profits. Now, the difference between profits and profitability is all the other stuff that it requires in order to produce those sales. Employee cost, equipment cost, insurance, everything. That is your cost of doing business. So now we've got to subtract that out. And then you end up with profitability. Now, looking at it from a company standpoint, profitability is very easy to see. It's on every P&L, it's on every income statement. But to get to a micro level and look at it from the customer profitability standpoint, that's a little trickier. Some people may have advanced software that allows them to do that. But if you don't, there are ways that you can determine which customers are profitable and which ones are not. Let's start out with customer profit. What you're probably going to find is something along the 80-20 rule. Now what that means is that 80% of your profits are going to come from 20% of your customers. Now, it probably will be a variation of that. It may be 70-20, maybe 60-20, it may be 60-40. But the point is, a large percentage of your profits are going to come from a small percentage of your customers. So what you first want to do is you want to rank those customers. The easiest way to do that is rank them based off of gross profit dollars. Remember, not sales, because sales is just the starting point. It's the gross profit dollars that matters. So we're going to rank them by that. And that is going to give us our customer base that we're going to work with. We want that 20%, 30%, 40%. Whatever we determine is a good number that is going to be given a large percentage of the total profits. Reason being, anything you do there is going to make a big impact on your business. All the other stuff, the smaller accounts, it's going to take a lot more work and you're going to have a lot less reward at the very end. Now, because customers change, buying habits change, projects change, this is something that needs to be done on a regular basis, annually, semi-annually, biannually. This needs to be done frequently because those customers will change and those rankings will change along with them. Now that we've got the profit side of the ranking, we now need to figure out the second part, and that is going to be the service side. For service, you need to determine what it is that your company offers, what those service packages are, and then determine how you want to rate those. I like to use the rule of M's. Start off with things like money, accounts receivable. How often do you have to call them to get what's owed to you? Man hours. How much time do you and your employees have to put in order to get those sales from that customer? Machinery. Do you offer delivery services? If so, how often are you delivering to them? Last one that I use is maintenance. This can be a very broad category, but think of things like return percentages. Think of things that are average ticket size. Think of things about how quick they're needing things. How proactive are they to situations, or how reactive are they? If you're constantly putting out fires for them, that is a high maintenance customer. So now that you have the two things, profit and service, we're now going to graph those. You're going to have two axes. One of them is going to be profit. The other one is going to be service. And you're going to be ranking those on 4 different things. So, for those of you that are listening, I'm going to do my best to explain that if you're not watching the video. On one axis, you're going to have your profit axis, and you're going to letter that A, B, C, and D, with A being your highest profit customers that you already determined, and D being the lowest profit customers that are on that list. And then on the other axis is going to be your service axis. And those are going to be numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4, with 1 being the lowest service customer, 4 being a high service customer, based off of those service rankings that you determine are critical to operating your business. Now that you have that with profits and service, and you've gone through your data for each of your customers, and you've ranked them in these categories, determine ones that are high profit, low profit, determine ones that are high service and low service. Now you can take and put them on your graph. Where do they fall? I'm going to break this up into 4 quadrants. And what you'll see with these 4 quadrants is you are going to have a high profit quadrant that is low service. You're going to have a high profit quadrant that is also high service. You're going to have a low profit quadrant that is low service. And you're going to have a low profit quadrant that is high service. Now you may be asking, how do we use this data? Now that we've got it all put together, we've got it all graphed out, we now have identified our customers and which quadrants they fall in. What do we use this information for? Well, one of the first thing, this is going to be your sales blueprint. These guys right here, high profit, low service, those are your best customers. You want to sell them as much as you possibly can. So your next quadrant over, this is also a high profit quadrant, but it's also a high service quadrant. Make that right. This is also a high profit quadrant, but it's also a high service quadrant. These customers require a lot of service in order to get those profit dollars. So looking at this from a sales plan, you want to maybe not work so much on selling them, but work on improving their services. How can you get them from this quadrant over to this quadrant? Moving down here, these are your high potential customers. They are a low service customer, but right now they're a low profit customer. You want to move them up here. In order to do that, you need to sell them more. And your last quadrant, this is going to be a low profit, high service customer. This is the customer you want to continue to sell to them as they come to you, though I don't know how much effort you want to put into them until they can get themselves into one of these other 2 or 3 quadrants to where they are higher profit or less service. So a second thing that you can use this information for, variable pricing. So if you offer different price levels to different customers, this is pretty self-explanatory. These guys up here, high profit, low service, those are your best customers. They probably deserve your best pricing. You come into these quadrants here to where it's high profit but high service, or low profit and low service. They probably don't deserve that best pricing that these customers do until they can work their way into one of those categories. And then your last one there, if you're already offering a charge account, delivery, other services, they may not need anything else other than those services. So they may fall in the lowest price level or even a price level to those that didn't make your list at all. You've just got to determine that. If you're a company that offers several price levels, you can now break it down even further because you've already got the data. You can now take this down one more level and do your different price levels based off of how they fall inside of these levels. So there you could have as many as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or more price levels in a model like that. An additional thing that customer profitability can be used for is actually keeping a scorecard or a rank of your customers. Why that is important is if you do customer reviews, sit down with them annually and talk to them about their business, how they can improve, how you can do better for them. Or if you have a customer that is truly committed to their business and wants to grow and wants to improve and is asking you how they can get better service, better products, better pricing, you being the business partner with them, you can quickly look at this and acknowledge to them, say, yes, I want to help you. I want to help your business grow. This is what I need from you in order to do that. I need either A, some of these services that you have low rankings on to improve, or B, I need you to buy more. But now you've got all that data and you're prepared to talk to them. You are prepared to build your relationship with them. When it comes to customer profitability, that is one of the key things that you can use to improve and grow your business. Knowing it and applying it can be very successful. For more information, check out the website www.buildingthefuturepodcast.com, or you can reach out to me directly, Brett@btfpodcast.com. Together we are building the future.